Hey there, YouTube friends. This is David D of PRM, and today we're going to go over my top 5 Democratic primary picks for 2020. We'll start with number 5, Buttigieg, or Pete Buttigieg. I think that's how you say his name. Buttigieg came out of nowhere. He had a CNN town hall the other day. He did pretty good in it. Well-spoken guy, smart guy. He's a mayor of somewhere in Indiana. I forget. He's a gay man. He's a married gay man. So that's an interesting dynamic in the framework of identity politics. Like, we've never had an openly gay married president. That stuff always goes over with Democrats. I think he's for Medicare for all, but I actually think it's a public option. He really danced around it. He didn't say Medicare for all. So just be careful, like, when it comes to supporting this guy. Make sure it's for Medicare for all, or else he can just hit the highway. Because if you don't support Medicare for all, who cares? We don't care about you. I don't care about you if you don't support Medicare for all. Number 4, Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, I like her. I really do. She's accomplished. She started the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau after the 2008 financial collapse. She's an academic. She's done some really good things, and she's a smart woman. She kind of dances in the progressive territory of the party and in the centrist establishment territory in the party. One could say she has a leg in each side of the party. So sometimes, there's some conflicts there. But for the most part, if it came down to Liz Warren and Donald Trump, that's a slam dunk. Of course I'm going to vote for Liz Warren. But she's still pretty good. Okay, so she's my number 4. Number 3, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard had a CNN town hall. They tried to smear her. They tried to frame all the questions that she's, basically, an Assad apologist. And this has been framework in the mainstream media for weeks now. CNN just had their turn with it in their CNN town hall the other day. But screw CNN. CNN sucks. Tulsi Gabbard is the most anti-war candidate. Okay, that's the reason why I have her at number 3. She's the most profoundly anti-war. She's the most outspoken against it. Her domestic record is very progressive. Her voting record is what I'm talking about there. Her votes are, pro-LGBTQ, even though she's had that. Her past is checkered there with that because of a weird upbringing and a religious cult, basically, who was anti-homosexual and gay marriage and just anti-gay in general. So, like I said before, she's grown out of it. She's grown into her own person with her own mind and her own thoughts. And, her voting record reflects that. She's her domestic voting record is very good. So, she's my number 3. Number 2, Yang Gang. Get that bag, yo. Andrew Yang is my number 2 because of his platform of universal basic income, Medicare for all, and human-centered capitalism. Andrew Yang is my sleeper pick, as I keep saying. He's a dark horse. He's really going to put himself on the map on the debate stage, which he just qualified for yesterday. So he got his 65,000 donations in. He will be on the debate stage, and that is good news for America, because people need to hear somebody who's well-versed in UBI. A lot of candidates will touch on it, but they never go in-depth with it. He has an in-depth plan for it, and he makes it the forefront of his campaign. So Andrew Yang is a very important person, whether he gets to be president or not. He's still going to push the dialogue where it needs to go. He's going to push it into the mainstream where people need to hear about UBI. and we need to deal with certain things in the future concerning automation and stuff like that. And he's the guy to tell us about it. So that's Andrew Yang. He's my number 2. Number 1 is it's obvious, right? It's obvious. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is my number 1 pick for the 2020 Democratic primary. What can I say that you don't already know? This started back in 2015 for a lot of us, and you know he's maintained the momentum and he's built up what he started, and it's only gotten bigger and more sustained and more powerful, and you know it resonates. One of the main reasons why Bernie Sanders is number 1 for me is because of his 30, 40 plus years of being for the same things. Whether it's civil rights, whether it's climate change, whether it's debt-free college, whether it's, you name the progressive policy, and he's been for it longer than any candidate in the Democratic primary. So that goes a long way with me. It goes a long way when someone who's dedicated their whole life to what they believe in. I'm sorry, that you just get all the clout right there. That's where all the credit goes with me. It goes right to the top. When somebody has been supporting these things their whole entire lives, they have credibility. They've established credibility. And Bernie Sanders has the most credibility out of any of these candidates. So recap, number 5, Buttigieg. 4, Liz Warren. Number 3, Tulsi Gabbard. Number 2, Andrew Yang. And number 1, the mountaintop, Bernie Sanders. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to leave me your top 5 down in the comments below. And I want to know what you think. So like, share, subscribe, and click the bell on the side.